I am Willie Wolf, and I'm a member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe in north central South Dakota. And today we're going to be discussing, sharing information on a topic that is near and dear to my heart, which is called How to Forgive the Unforgivable. And it's really something that in my own healing journey I've come to find out is really, really key. And you may have certain things that you have forgiven others for, or maybe an institution or an event, but I find oftentimes there's this one event that we're just not quite willing to forgive. And maybe due to fear of the consequences, or because we have so much anger wrapped up with it. Any number of reasons could be for your not being ready to take that journey to forgive the unforgivable. And so I wanted to share a little bit about some examples of in some cases where a community has done it, and in other cases what you can do personally to prepare yourself to forgive the unforgivable. So I'd like to start with an event that happened, I know you're all aware of, many years ago, which was at Wounded Knee in 1890 in December 29th to be exact. There was a massacre, several hundred men, women, and children were killed, slaughtered by the 7th Cavalry. And so that's been a very deep wound for not only our tribe, but for all Indian people. And it's the last major conflict between the government and tribal people here in the United States. Every single tribe has had many traumas, just like Wounded Knee, so I don't want to give you the impression that was the worst by any means. But one of the things that happened within the community, because they've known that for a long time among the Lakota and Dakota people, that is a deep wound, is they decided in 1986 they would begin what is called the Bigfoot Memorial Ride. And so just like a week before December 29th in December, a group of men, women, and children from several tribes got together and rode from where the Chief Bigfoot camped, which was up by Bullhead, South Dakota, and then they went about 170 miles in the heart of winter on horseback all the way down to Wounded Knee. And then once they got there, there were ceremonies and prayers, and it started the healing process. And then the memorial ride continued for the next 4 years, and then of course 1990 was the 100th year anniversary. But it's continued since that time because it's such a powerful healing experience, and it really brings people together that participate in it. And so I wanted to share that with you as one example. Now another one that as Indian people we know that the pain of one is the pain of all, and the honor of one is the honor of all. And of course when 9/11 hit, it impacted our entire country. And of course, as Indian people, we know what traumas like that mean to us. And up on the Lummi Reservation here in the state of Washington, where I currently live, there's a carver there for their tribe, Jewel James, who's well known. And he and some other people in the community decided they want to do something for the victims and the families and all the people who are impacted by that tragedy on that day. And so they decided to carve 3 healing totem poles. And then they got permission from the families and the people at the locations to take those totem poles out to the sites and have a ceremony there in commemoration of what happened there, and to help bring about more healing for all those people who were impacted by 9/11. And so what you're looking at here is a picture of the one at by the Pentagon. And there's also one up in Pennsylvania, as well as at Ground Zero in New York City. Now I want to share a little bit with you about what's involved with your own personal healing journey, and that includes some steps for forgiving others. And as you can see, the first one is you want to write down what the specific harm is. Because while it may be clear in your own mind, you might leave something out, and so you need to get really, really focused on what the nature of the harm is that was done to you, or in some cases it may have been your family or entire tribal community that was impacted. And so once you do that, then you want to be able to share that with somebody else and then get some feedback on it, because that will also help you make sure that you know exactly what the harm is that was done. And then you prepare yourself for the forgiveness process. And the first thing is sharing with others what you will do. And in this case, you're walking through the forgiveness path. And so you want to let somebody know what you're doing. If you have a script that you write out, that's fine. Or if you just want to kind of do a dry run with it, I think that's great as well. So there's different ways of doing it. And you can do it with a spiritual leader, your therapist, or just a close friend, and somebody who's familiar with the situation. And then you want to smudge yourself, which of course is part of our ways, our traditional ways, and that's a way to purify yourself and to get your heart and your mind united, and then helps you to get the courage you need to do the actual forgiveness. And then the last thing up here is you want to pray and meditate about this action that you're about to take, because it's important to make sure that you're centered and you're in balance. And when we pray and meditate, then that's far more likely to happen. So after that, you're able to go out and do the actual forgiveness, and then once you do that, you're able to let go, and that's the next thing on here, which is about focus on what you're forgiving. And that's really, really key too, because you need to, once again, sometimes we lose the courage, and so it's important to maintain your commitment to following through on this. And you want to tell the person you forgive them with no strings attached. And this is really key, because if you say something like, I forgive you for what you did to me, or what you did to my family, or to our tribe, but you know, also keep in mind that you did A, B, C to us as well. So that's what we call conditional forgiveness, and that's not what you want to do. So avoid that. And then don't have any expectations as you go into this, because oftentimes we do have unrealistic expectations, like everything's going to be wonderful, and the other person's going to really, really you know, look at us in a good way after this, or you know, the damage is going to be repaired, and it may not turn out that way. So just let go of the outcome, which is the next one. Accept whatever the outcome is, and once you do that, you can have some peace around the situation, and you can forgive. You don't have to forget, but you can forgive and gain the freedom that goes along with that. Now, if you want to find out more about this, you can just go ahead and contact me. Here you see my phone number up here, as well as my email, redroadconsulting@gmail.com, and a website, which is www.redroadleadership.us. Hechatelo, Mitake, Oyasin, and so it is all my relations. May Takashala bless and keep each and every one of you.